I've gotten moderate pushback, I would say, so far about my comments with regards to Angel Reese and LSU. First of all, shout out to Angel Reese and her incredible play this season, and just for who she is, unapologetic, and I love that. If you've seen any of my content, you know that I'm all about it, especially in marginalized spaces. So my issue had to do with a little bit of nuance, and I've said this in other videos that there's written rules, there's unwritten rules, there's bulletin board material, and in my opinion, which I have no idea why anyone cares about my opinion, but since some people do, and I've been coaching for 31 years, and I'm not going to be boxed into a corner. If I say and preface something with I've been coaching for 31 years, I've coached men for 15 years, and this will be my 17th year on the women's side. I've coached professionals, I've coached college players, I've coached high school players and middle school players. And I like to consider myself a lifelong learner. So I understand nuance maybe a little differently than other people. Like if you're in real estate or car sales, like a Brian Benstock or like Grant Cardone, I wouldn't attempt to go outside of my lane in those areas. Number one, I don't mind trash talking and rivalries. I think it can be good for the game. The thing that has attracted me to the women's side more than anything else is the way that the women stick together, the way that they mobilize, the way that they support each other. And on the men's side, I never felt that as much. It was just more about the coaches trying to get theirs and a lot of backstabbing, and I was just never about it. And I just vibrationally connected more with the women's game. And so having said that, I thought what Angel did at the end went too far. She was trying to get Caitlin Clark from Iowa to take the bait, and she wouldn't acknowledge her when she did it at the end of the game. And I just thought it was classless. And I said this in a couple of my posts. I know not everyone's Barry Sanders. You're going to score a touchdown and just hand the ball to the referee and go quietly into the night. But you just won a national championship. And I understand that you were sticking up for South Carolina by what you were doing. And you called Caitlin out for being disrespectful, for waving off, like, whatever, go ahead and shoot it. And I get that. And I understand that it could be perceived that way. And I understand there's two narratives with regards to black and brown America and white America. Absolutely 100%. So, when it comes to what you were talking about in the press conference, that in and of itself, I agree 100%. And flowers to you and to your teammates, to Coach Mulkey for winning the title. But I just thought it was classless to do what you did at the end of the game. That's just my feelings on it. And like I said, you just won a national championship. There was no need for it. If you want to show your hand to the crowd and point to your ring finger, by all means. But I just thought it was unnecessary. Like, you could clap a little, you could do a couple of different things. But I just thought she went too far, and she kept going and going and going. And then the justification is that people have been calling her a thug all year, and all of those things as far as that narrative goes. That was a separate issue. It literally, I cannot stand when people bring things into conversations that have nothing to do with it. And I thought that argument had nothing to do with what Caitlin Clark had done, and for her retaliating, I guess, and standing up for her South Carolina sisters. They're both in the SEC, and I get it. But we can just agree to disagree. I just thought it was classless and tasteless. But the bigger picture is what she talked about in the presser and what Coach Dawn Staley talked about in the presser. And I absolutely agree with them 100%. So I'm going to give her grace. I understand that in the heat of the moment, look, there's a buildup and an accumulation in the black and brown community that spills over to sports that is completely unfair. The black and brown community, especially women, are marginalized, and that is the most important issue. But if we're talking specifically about her actions, about Angel Reese's actions in this game at the end of the game, and I don't even care about the rivalry piece. I don't care about the smack talking a little bit. But I just thought the timing of it and the way that she kept pushing the issue. Look, I played college basketball. I was a smack talker. I've been coaching for 31 years. I've seen a lot of different things, nuance, bulletin board material. Like, I get it. I get it. I just disagreed with the ending. But everything else that she talked about, the false narratives, the two standards, the double standards, what Coach Staley talked about, 100%. I'm on board 100% with all that stuff. So, in summary, I disagree with how she behaved at the end of the game. I don't care about smack talking. I do not care about rivalries. But I love the overall camaraderie that women typically have for one another. And Alexis Morris was in one video like waiting for Caitlin Clark because she like literally loves her game and showed respect to her from that standpoint. Now, she showed her a gas face during the game and made those comments during the trophy presentation, but she showed her respect, and I don't feel like Angel did the same thing, even if she acknowledged that there's a rivalry or she was just standing up for the SEC sisterhood, or the black and brown community. So those are my thoughts. I appreciate all y'all tapping in. And again, congratulations, kudos, props, flowers to LSU, Angel Reese and company, and Coach Mulkey. What she did in 2 years, I may disagree with her about a lot of things, but she's a Hall of Famer. Much love. Black Lives Matter. Until next time. Appreciate y'all. Much love.